Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing this look right here, which you can kind of see it's very soft, very, not natural, I won't say natural, but it's really good for date nights, cinema, going to the pub, where you want to look a little bit dressy but you don't want to overkill it. It's not a night out. But yeah, if you want to see how I created this really soft glam look, you can check it out now. Okay, so let's get started. So I actually got this in the Makeup Pro store, and Louise Lave, which I always name drop, has used it on all her clients and she uses it on their chest and all. It's the waterproof liquid foundation in FLV2 Gilded Skin. Oh my god, it's waterproof. Learn something new every day. I don't think this is a foundation. It'd be very like Charlotte Tilbury's actually. I'm using this as my primer. You can see the colour there. So for the skin on this, I'm going to do like a date night look. I'm calling it date night because it's honestly what I'd wear on a date night. It's like simple makeup that you do have time to do, but you don't really want to spend your whole time doing your makeup. Like you kind of want it to be a bit softer. I just popped that on with a brush. Obviously it would go on nicer with your hands, but this makes your hands so glowy and I find it a little bit hard to get off, so I don't like having glowy hands. So I just use this like stippling brush from Real Techniques. It's actually really nice because I don't use it for anything else anyway, so may as well get use of it. So I'm going to use the Instant Anti-Age Eraser Concealer in Fair. Run low on this, but who cares? Because I'm using a mineral powder, I don't need that much concealer or like product on my skin because I'll have a mineral powder, but I do concealer underneath. I just don't understand people who could do concealer on top of mineral powder. I think that just goes really weird. So doing it on my scars, underneath my eyes is like main priority. I'm quite lucky I don't have the world's worst bags because I do get nice sleep, but it's such a habit to have that little highlight underneath your eyes. And then we're gonna try cover up whatever's happening here. See, this is why you do your waxing a good bit in advance before going out for Christmas and all them nights out, because imagine having to stroll out with that on your face. I must have shaved a layer of skin off or something, because that's what I did here. Maybe I did. Maybe I gave myself razor burn on my face. I actually probably did. That would make sense. So just new concealer, the Last Imperfection one. Just kind of don't have to be strategic with this at all, because like I said, mineral powder is going on top. For the eyes, I would actually probably use concealer. Do I have soft ochre? I probably do, but I'm actually, you know what? YOLO, we'll put concealer on the eyes. We'll do a normal day. Normal people put concealer on the eyes. I do not. I use soft ochre. Paint pot, which you see in every video, because it lasts. No shape underneath the brows, no nothing, because we're going to do fluffy brows today. Go in with the Rimmel Insta Fixing Matte, which we already know I love. I'm just using this to set the eyes. I am going in with mineral powder, but I do think it's just too heavy for the eyes, plus it colours the eyes too, and I like a little bit more of a brighter eye base. And I just sweep it underneath too. It kind of sets all the creases as well. So I'm going to actually go in with the Hollywood Flawless filter, which I know I'm very glowy already, but I just think, why not? I'm going to pop that there, a bit on the forehead. Tiny bit, this goes like a long way. It's also quite tan and I am not. So I just damp that in my highlight zones. So for a kind of quick alternative, it's not necessarily quick unless you get in the habit of it, because you are buffing it in a lot more than you would a foundation. A foundation you can kind of sponge it on or whatever, but it does give a nice finish. Plus my skin's in a bit of a rut, so I do think it needs this little break from makeup, but with good makeup, you know what I mean? So I'm using the Bella Pierre mineral powder. This is my favourite mineral powder because it doesn't have flashback, or if it does, it's not the worst. Like the fuchsia one, I do like it in like normal photos, but flash is so bad. The mineral colours as well are a lot better in Bella Pierre. Like this, I have Nutmeg, which is really dark tan, but I'm not that colour. And then Cinnamon is my go-to for day-to-days. It's like a MAC NC 20 to like 25, it'd be that colour. It gives the fullest coverage. The other day I did it in quite a light coverage, and I normally never do that. Normally I do a few layers just to get full coverage, but I did it as light, so you can actually get, like, you can choose how dense you want your makeup. I get in a really bad rut of using the same brushes all the time. As you see in the videos, I use a lot of the same, and I was like, okay, I'll change it up, because I always go for the fuchsia mineral brush. It is the best. Do you think they've changed it recently? Because the last one I got is not the same. But if you got like an OG brush, that's the best one. Real Techniques buffing brush. I was like, I'll use this and see what I think about it. It's actually alright. It's a bit smaller and a bit denser, but I do prefer the fuchsia one still, but I actually do like this. So I start on the outer corners of my face. Because we put concealer in the centre, it won't need as much product. I just dip into the lid. I do keep the little like cap on it kind of half twisted so it doesn't all come out every time. And then you just tap like that. But what that does is it lets the mineral settle into the brush, so it's not all fluffing about as soon as you touch your face and you're not wasting product. So starting on the outer cheeks, I swirl and push it into the skin. And it's quite a big packet. Like how much you get? How many grams in it? You get 9 grams in it, so that's a lot of foundation. It has SPF 15, which I know gives flashback, but I do find these foundations aren't the worst for flashback. During the summer, this was my go-to because it was just so lightweight and it didn't sweat off. Like if I went from being on the beach to being in a pub, it was still on and looked so soft and flawless. Even though like with other foundation, especially in the sun, it sweats right off me. I think I have used mineral powder before. I used the fuchsia one in the dramatic grunge video I did a few months ago. But I don't know if I've actually ever used the Bella Pierre one, and I'd actually use this more in real life. In keeping with the theme of like mineral, I got the Bella Pierre mineral bronzer in Starshine. It's bloody massive. It is really pigmented though, so you'd never run through this. It has like little shimmers through it, which I love shimmers through products because they are so much nicer on the skin. They give a more like your skin feel, even if it is full coverage and isn't your skin obviously. And using just the tip of it to go right into the hollows because I'm not going to contour. I like that more like bronze goddess look for date night. Bit on the nose, you know, gotta even it all out. And then the forehead to try pretend I have a smaller forehead. I actually think I am swollen. Look, you can see the shadow. Oh, I can feel that. Whoops. This shit doesn't worry me. I'll put some aloe vera gel on it later and it'll be fine. And for blush, I was like, you know what, I have to change it up. I keep using my Luminoso by Milani after I did that haul video. So I'm using the Sleek, which if you do love blushes, go to Sleek. Their blushes are unbelievable. They are so cheap and they're bloody massive for blush. Like they're the same size as the NARS ones, I think. And they have a lot of NARS dupes. But this is the blush Pomegranate. You can kind of see it's a berry, but it has a sheen through it. Again, we want to be glowy for this look, so we're like a underskin glow. I actually think it's a lovely Christmas blush, if you know what I mean, because it's like that, oh, I'm out in the cold. And if you go too far, it'll blend in with your inflated face. I've been very in love with, I don't know if anybody's follow her, she's a fashion blogger. Her name's Ella Ravenscross or something. This is what I'm inspired by because I did that for my granny's 80th. I wore makeup kind of inspired by her and I was like, wow, I actually love this. Because it was kind of little steps outside my comfort zone. Like instead of having a peach blush, it's more of a berry. Instead of a like white nude lip, it's more of a like a pinky juicy kind of lip. So yeah, and also fluffy brows, but she has I think HD brows, so I'm a little behind because I don't have HD brows, but I'll try. And then for highlight, I wouldn't reach for this all the time. I'd rather reach for Shine Bright, which is more well known, but this is Like a Diamond by Doll Beauty. It's quite pale, as you can see, and I wouldn't ever be this pale, but this is so nice with this brush. If you're gonna buy this, get this brush with it too. That's the Bdellium Tools one I was talking about in the last video. It's the 941 tapered highlighting brush. It just creates such a like you're glowing instead of like intense highlight. So if you do like that, even though this highlighter is really intense, if you use another brush, it's just so soft when you use this one. So for the brows, I can't zoom you up because I'm not technological and I use my iPhone to film, but I'm just taking a Penny's spoolie brush. It's the 3-in-1 brow thing. If you have full brows, this would be lovely because you have like your Anastasia dupe thing with like the little angled one, you know, one of them. It's too pale for me, so I don't use it. And then you also get like a little powder in it, one of these thingy bobs, like a little squidgy thing, but I don't have the brows for that. But the spoolie is amazing because I don't have strong brows, I'm gonna have to mimic hairs. So I'm using my Inglot brow gel just because I got my hair dyed blonde again yesterday, so I don't want to be too dark. I'm still following the shape of like a strong brow. I'm just filling it in individually. I do, however, fill in the top a little bit more, just because I don't have hairs at all, and even mimicking them, they are noticeable. So I just do lines downwards, following my natural hairline, and then I do one overall line just to kind of create the illusion I have bigger brows. And then the closer it gets to the front, the more Duraline I use. So I've just turned the brush upside down so the pointy part is actually at the bottom, because I find it holds the most product. So you rather your roots be darker, obviously, in your brows. And if you do think you have a heavy hand, start back in the centre and work your way in again, just because you don't want to have blocky brows. So I'll go do the other one and then I'll be back for eyes. And then to finish off, I'm just getting the Essence Make Me Brow Mascara and brushing all my hairs up. I think this is the first time I've ever used this on my channel, but I love it. I did film with it before, but it was awful and none of it was in shot, so I put it as an Instagram video. This is the Carter Beauty Warm Velvet palette. Such good on the go palette. It's got all your nudes. It's also got your warm nudes, which I prefer much more. I'm going to use the Zoeva 228 Luxe Crease. I say that every time. Luxe Crease brush. For the minute, I'm going to go in with Regal and Noble, which are two like medium browns, and I always start off with them. I'm just putting them in the crease. Then I'm going to go in with the shade 13, which is this one here, and Truffle, which is this corner. Honestly, if they made a smaller palette with them 4 colours, that would just be my everyday palette. I never dip into the oranges, which I really should. I will. I'll come back to that now. I'll dip into an orange. Going in with the same brush and Truffle right along the lash line. This is going to get covered up with glitter, so it doesn't really matter if it's really messy. But I'm going to go in with a little bit of orange on the crease, because why not? And I'm just going over my crease colours with it, just to add like the tiniest hint of orange. You literally old school it. I'm using the Colourpop Super Shock eyeshadow in Kathleen Lights. Never reach for these are just shimmers that you whack on the lid, and they're not eyeshadows because you can't blend with them at all, even the matte ones, and they're just too creamy. So I'm just taking that on my finger, very old school, and swiping that on. It's not super pigmented, but it'll just look nice under the glitter that I am going to put on. I'm just going to use my finger again. See, this is how easy it is. Getting the Iona eyeshadow primer, but I actually prefer get the Inglot eyeshadow keeper. Just use very little of it, just because this does have a colour, but I keep that one in my kit. So use this and pat it onto your finger, and then pat it onto the lid. And then Inglot's 124 pigment is such a go-to for bronze looks, and literally lightly patting it on to both eyes. And then just sweep up some of the glitter. I don't want a half cut crease look, so I don't mind like if it fuzzes into the crease, just making it a little bit softer. Then one of the best things ever that I didn't appreciate till I was probably like 20, because it would have been such a thing when you're 16, you know, nah, is the Kiko eyeshadow cream sticks. It's a long lasting 8-hour no transfer eyeshadow, so obviously you can use this as an eyeshadow look. I always use it against the lash line, and I always forget to pick it up. I need to get more colour, especially in like black, like a smudgy black, because it's so good. Starting on the outer corner, because I want it to be obviously the darkest there. Get like a small kind of brush, or even the one that we have Truffle on, I'll use that, and you just smudge it down. PS Amplified Mascara, because it's the only one I have at the moment, but it is not good if you cry, as I've learned the hard way. But I am going to coat up the bottom lashes, because she's really thick bottom lashes, so. I'm just using the Glam & Co Bambi lashes. They're just so lovely, because I love when they go like individually up, but they're like really naughty looking. Love it. So then for lips, I wore this again for my granny's 80th and I loved it, so I was like, you know what, I'll wear it again for a video just to kind of have a change so it's not all plain nudes. I did use 854 lip liner from Ingot, but I lost that on the night, which was gutting. So I'm just using this Penny's one lip pencil in, don't think that's the name, in brown. I think that's it. Because I think with pink lip I still need a brown lip liner. I'm going to use MAC's Brave, which I bought back in the day because I think Amelia Liana loved it, but I just never used it. It's so pink, like you can see, it's really pink. And I don't wear pink nudes, and I am today. And I'm going to use Creme Brulee. I think I used the Anastasia one on the night of my granny's, but I used that last video, so I've got to change it up, don't I? So that is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed watching. This is so easy. I use it, I practically do this look and just change up the nude lip every time. It's just a really easy soft look that can be done in minutes. You can take things out if you don't need them, but it's just a lot softer. I do like doing these looks as I think they make you look more good looking, if you know what I mean, because you're not changing yourself too much. But this is not me, like you've seen by the start. So all the products will be linked in the bio box thing, and so will all my social media, so you can go follow me there for more photos of this look and stuff like that. Don't forget to like, subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you next week. Bye! Why is it fine? Not doing it now. What am I gonna start with? We'll start with this. And I dropped that, so I won't be using that. This flippy floppy brush. You stop rolling, mister. Oh wait, hold on, I'm reading this wrong. Oh.